Okay, with much fear and trepidation, I'm going to try and dismantle this. Now, Jim said I should just change seals and everything, but I looked at the book, it says 1,000 hours you should do this. I've only used this for about 5 hours. If I've had it on for 3 hours, that's more than I've ever done. I mean, it's only been used for 3 hours, so I know there is a leak. I know where the leak is because there's a filter behind one of these things here which pops out. I'm going to just do that. So the first plan then, according to him, I've got to try and push this. Where are we? You see this? I pushed the thing up, the black hat. I'm going to push it back, and apparently there's a little pin that I've got to dislodge first. And then I've got to undo these bolts at the other side, and then these two bottom ones on each side, and it should then come apart. So that's what I'm going to say. It's a shame I've got nobody to watch this, but that's what I'm doing. So this one on this side and the other side, this one, which are two 5-inch bolts on either side, and it should come apart. But the first thing I've got to do is to try and find this pin and push it through, and I'm told it drops out very easy. So quite where it drops out, I don't know. Anyway, we'll have a go. That's what Jim said to do first. So that's what I'll do. Okay. Well, let me see. Don't know if you can see it there. If I pull that back, you can just see the pin. Do you see that? I think that's the pin. I forgot. I've got to take off that tube and that tube. And if I can dismantle, well, a dreadful hard job to get off. There's one there and the other one there. The only tip I get, I boiled the kettle and dribbled hot boiling water, and it gave way. But I'm just going to say that those pipes are very hard to get off. Those water pipes. The tip I'd give is trickle boiling water from a kettle on it, and eventually they expand and release. Now, I've got to say, the screw, i.e. the other end of that one, where is it? There. That on the other side, I needed to use this to get to it if it's against the wall. Worth thinking about that on installation and removal. Is how you're going to get that nut out. Well, I had one of these sheared, and so I had to get another one from the Chandlers, another bolt. I've ordered one, but look, they're rusting there. So that in fact looks like a manufacturing fault. So Jim, when you pass on information, there is a good example of crap materials. One thing that you need to remember is, there's the pipe, is take the hose off this one, and this also required clipping off a tie, cable tie, and then put boiling water to move it. A certain amount of water came out of that, so you need to have something to catch it, which I did. There's a little bit of water that drops down the bottom too. Anyway, there is the kit. So let's see if I can do that without buggering it all up. The next thing Jim says is on these two at the top here, just to sort of tell you that those two at the top. And you've got to use these funny looking keys, these Allen key things. Okay, and there was my problem. I'm just going to replace that. I'm hoping I've kept everything else intact so it don't all drop out, and I can put it together properly. Well, there's the old release valve. It's got a, it looks all right actually. I don't know why it's leaking, but it was leaking. Anyway, I'll put the new one on, like I was advised. Two nuts, hex nuts, I think they're called, either side. And yeah, I think I'm about ready to assemble, I reckon. But I'll tighten these up. This without filming it because I've got nobody to hold it for me really. But anyway, that cap, I pushed the cap there, which is there. I pushed it so I could, it was loose, I could push it on. I put the inner tube, the inner pipe on there and the outer pipe, and I put that reinstalled the pin. The way to do that, I think, is have it vertically downwards and then push it on at the bottom and then push it over the top of the cap. I know it makes no sense, but if you leave it all upright, basically it'll work. Right, so far so good. Now we come to the rear. First thing I'm going to do is tighten those two back ones up, there and there. Now remember these 6 bolts here, these ones here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Jim said to do them in rotation, like that one, then that one, and that one, and that one, and that one, and this one, and so on. So you don't do just one and then do that, because you may break it, he said. Do you remember? I'm going to try that. Right. Now I've switched the engine on. Everything looks alright. The reason I switched the engine on, I was a bit of water in the bottom, but that's only when I undid the pipes. I captured a bit in the bucket there. So I'm going to start the pump. There's a pump on this one and the water maker. No leaks so far. I had it pickled, so it should. Oh, I didn't put the water on. Well, there's no water leak, so I put the water on. So the water is now coming in. Water's now coming in, slowly filling up. It takes a few minutes for the water to run through this. Oh, I see the filter needs changing. I'll worry about that tomorrow. Anyway, there we go. So that is being made, because you can see there's a pipe at the back. I don't know if you can see that. It's this pipe here. Well, it's going along it. They're sort of filling up really well. I mean, there's a bit, looks like there's an air bubble or something here, but it may be that as I use it, so the air bubble will go to a certain capacity here. So I'll have to wait and see how it works. They're certainly making something now. Still no leaks, Jim. Right. I did it. Unbelievable. It's making water. I've discharged. What happens is the water comes up through from the water maker. It goes through these pipes. One of it, which is this one here, throws it out. So I don't take the first litre or so of water. Once I've done that, then I transfer it to this, which runs it into this pipe here for filling a bottle. But what I've got is a glass, which is here. It's glass. I did have a water tester, but I haven't got one now. Now this doesn't look like it's working, but you'll be amazed that even this sort of dribble in 1 hour will make 5 litres or 4 litres. So I'm just putting a little sip in here just to taste it. In fact, I'll do it now. I'll just put this back in here. So it's making water in there. Right, I shall taste it now. Okay. Ah, boing. Only joking. In fact, it's lovely. Cheers, everybody. Jim McDonald's Mactra if you need one. Now, I'll just explain to you what mine is. I've got here. So it comes in, it goes through, we discharge a lot through this one. This one goes into the bottle. This one here pushes it all this way, but if I turn it the other way, it then flows into this container, and then I open it and I can flow it into the tanks. So I've still got another chance. If I think it's still wrong, I can still taste it before I drop it into the tank. And that was done by Ralph at Lagos in Portugal. I'm sure if you ask on the pontoons, if you're there in Portugal and wanted to fit it, he'll do it. He invented all this himself. I'm not saying it's a great job, but it works, Ralph. Okay, thank you very much.